A woman is speaking out tonight after being brutally attacked by a man who she says threatened to kill her.
He even came back with an accomplice and started beating her with a skateboard.
Welcome to another episode of J Inclusive. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications on so you are alerted every time I upload.
She believes she was targeted because she is transgender. Rachel Medetoff live in Hollywood with a disturbing surveillance video and pictures of the suspects wanted by police. Rachel.
Hi, good evening. Sabrina De La Peña says her attacker has been threatening her for weeks on end. Police haven't been able to find him despite a good amount of surveillance video, and they're hoping that maybe someone watching this story tonight will be able to help. Horrifying screams coming from inside this longtime small business in the Westlake district. Its owner, 61-year-old Sabrina De La Peña, has owned her convenience store for the last 30 years. For the very first time, she was robbed and attacked by a man she says came in to buy a wallet. She says he began flirting with her and became irate when she asked him to leave.
He pushed me to the floor, and we got a little fight on the floor, and then he was beating me very bad.
Luckily, De La Peña got her hands on a bat as a way to fend off her attacker. The man eventually ran off but returned the next night with an accomplice and vicious intent. This time, the pair beat her with a skateboard.
You know, I was screaming, asking for help, but nobody around giving her to me. And he take me out to the hallway, and he started beating me outside.
Ever since then, the aggressors have been back twice more. One of those times, they were armed with pepper spray. The other time, a taser. Continually antagonizing De La Peña in her place of business. The men captured in these still images haven't been found.
I want to just ask to the community, help me to find those guys. Help the police to catch those guys. It's not they gonna killing me.
De La Peña believes her assailants targeted her because of her gender identity. She is transgender. For the last 30 years, she's felt completely safe staying open until midnight. But this brutal beating has changed that.
Now I don't feel safe. I feel unsafe in the area. I can't walk, because I always be thinking he's gonna come back.
We're learning more about an alleged hate crime that took place at a store in the MacArthur Park area. And that's because the shop owner is a transgender woman.
Let's bring in Fox 11's Laura Diaz here in studio with new details on this woman, and we have told her story a couple of times now.
Yeah.
It just gets worse.
It is horrifying, actually. The owner of the store says she thought she was going to die. She says this wasn't the first time this has happened to her, and some of the attack was caught on camera. It could be hard to watch.
He always called me.
61-year-old Sabrina De La Peña is emotional as she recalls the hateful anti-trans slurs hurled at her 11:40 Saturday night, May 31st. She says the two young men you see on this surveillance video entered the block of West 6 near MacArthur Park, violently attacked her. First they yelled hateful words, then they pummeled her with their feet, their fists, and the butt of the gun. She's screaming the whole time.
I think I'm gonna die. Nobody gonna help me. Gonna die. And this is a little moment, and I just grab my email I got in my hand, and I ask God, help me, please help me.
Sabrina showed us images of her face covered in blood right after that attack. Sadly, this is the 6th time she's been attacked by the same pair, she says. According to Sabrina, she was trying to lock up Saturday when the two men in their 20s pushed their way in, dragged her into the back of the store where they stole $30,000 in cash. But she believes what they really wanted to take was her life.
They want to kill me because he shooting me twice. The gun didn't work.
A half a dozen stitches in her mouth and an overwhelming sense that she's in grave danger.
I don't gonna feel safe with nobody.
Yeah.
With nobody, because nobody gonna help me.
It's just scary that it could happen somewhere that I've been safe so many times. The Renton Transit Center is a place Nikki Armstrong has been to many times before. But now it's tied to a Monday night she'll never forget, when she stepped in as teens were harassing a transit security guard.
I said something along the lines of, hey, don't you kids have something better to do with your night?
Later that night around 8:20, Armstrong encountered the group again. She says they started chasing her until she tripped and fell to the ground.
They were on top of me, and it was all fists and feet, and they took me to the ground, and they held me by my neck and choked me while they were stomping on me, and they were taking turns punching me in the face.
She says the suspects made homophobic remarks to her during the assault that left her with a broken nose, eye socket, and other facial fractures.
When the kid took me down and put his arm around my neck, I was 100% certain that they were going to kill me.
It's heartbreaking, right? You don't want to see this kind of stuff happen in your community.
Renton police arrested 2 teen brothers accused of assault and a hate crime. The 15 and 17-year-olds made their first court appearance where a judge found probable cause for assault. Both were released on electronic home detention. Police say they play football for Renton High.
That means they go home. And they're able, from my understanding, to play football. They are not allowed to contact the victim or be at the Renton Transit Center.
Armstrong has mixed feelings about the decision.
I don't think they should be locked up. I agreed with the house arrest. I don't necessarily agree with them being able to play, football and be rewarded, essentially.
Despite that sentiment, she's remaining optimistic.
Don't get jaded on the state of young people these days. The kids are our future, and there's still hope.
Andre Carlo was arrested last week for the vicious beating of a trans woman in the University District.
Court records show he had already been charged in a case involving another trans woman. Como's Lynn Wynn has been digging into the story and has details on Carlo's criminal history.
It's just a brutal attack. I'm still trying to process that it happened.
Residents and community members in the U District reacting to the brutal beating of a transgender woman as she was walking to the light rail station. Police say a group of 4 men started harassing her using slurs, and when she got out her phone to record, they started viciously beating her. She ran to a nearby business for help, and court documents state the suspects kept repeating Semper Fi and said Trump got rid of you anyways and kicked you all out of the military. The victim was left with bruises, her eyes swollen shut, bleeding in her brain, and broken teeth, among other injuries. Cruz Garcia knows the victim and lives in the area.
I could tell right away they got beat up. 2 black eyes. It must have been brutal. And so that person that attacked them is just angry about something.
Police were able to track down one of the suspects through surveillance video and a license plate, which linked back to a domestic violence incident from the day prior. Court records show the same suspect has been charged in a hate crime from this September attack of a transgender woman working as a fare ambassador on Sound Transit.
We need to do more to protect people because, it's just, I just think with this climate, this political climate and everything that is giving people freedom to think that they can do what they want to.
Como News reached out to the victim in this latest case, who shared she is a veteran and said in a statement in part, "You can beat us down, you can call us names, you can dismiss our very existence with your executive orders, but we are still here."
In adult court, the focus is on a 25-year-old man's case.
The victim suffered extensive injuries.
And in juvenile court, a 16-year-old boy sits before the judge.
This was not only a very violent assault, as the court is aware, but it was completely unprovoked.
Prosecutors accuse both of participating in a brutal beating that left a transgender woman with broken ribs and facial bones.
They took me to the ground, and they held me by my neck and choked me while they were stomping on me. And they were taking turns punching me in the face.
Nikki Armstrong says on Monday night at the Renton Transit Center, a group harassed people. When Armstrong asked them to stop, 3 teenagers and a man allegedly launched a violent attack, shouting homophobic slurs while they kicked, punched, and choked her. Armstrong told police officers, "I was fighting for my life. I thought they were going to kill me."
We are fortunate that that is rare. We want it to be never.
King County data reveals that in 2022 and again in 2023, the prosecutor's office charged 26 hate crime cases involving anti-sexual orientation, anti-gender, or gender expression. Last year, prosecutors filed 14 cases, and so far this year, they've filed 10.
What we're seeing now is that in a lot of cases, you're seeing trans victims being attacked.
In the Renton case, officers arrested 2 teen boys on Monday and took this 16-year-old into custody Thursday.
The allegations in this case are shocking.
The court released the trio with orders to wear electronic home monitoring devices. The final suspect surrendered yesterday after his own family member saw this police post, recognized his photo, and convinced him to turn himself in. The court set bail at $300,000 for the 25-year-old suspect and scheduled his arraignment for Tuesday. For the teens already facing charges, they entered not guilty pleas today. In Seattle, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
I'm there 10, 15 times a week, and it's pass through there even when I'm not using the bus.
Nikki Armstrong knows a Renton Transit Center well, but Monday evening her commute became anything but routine.
There was a group of kids that were down there just harassing, sort of bullying random people. And I said, don't you guys have anything better to do?
The 39-year-old woman became their target. She says the teens chased her down the street, shouting homophobic slurs when she pulled out a can of pepper spray.
I made it about a block before I tripped, and then they were on me, and it was fists and feet. They were choking me while one of them was stomping on my face at one point, and this is all from their shoes.
The assault left Nikki on the ground with a broken nose, black eyes, one of them swollen shut, stitches and severe bruising to her face, back, and ribs. She says makes it hard to breathe.
It's scary to have something like that happen in a place that's always so safe and that I've been so many times.
She was savagely beaten on the ground where she was defenseless.
Renton police says Nikki's attackers are high school students, 2 of them brothers, just 15 and 17 years old, who are looking at possibly being charged with assault and a hate crime. Both serious felony charges.
We do not stand for hate in this community, and our officers and detectives will pursue it and investigate it to the fullest extent.
Nikki, who is a transgender woman, says she's aware of police seeking the enhancement. However, she doesn't believe it's why the teens targeted her. The brothers were released on electronic home monitoring during their first appearance hearing. Despite the trauma, Nikki isn't bitter towards the teens.
And I don't think jail is the place to fix troubled kids. And so I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that I think that they should be in there. But we've got to figure out something that does work for everybody, and especially the kids, you know, because bad kids become bad adults.
With nose, cheekbone, and brow bone reconstructive surgeries ahead, Nikki will have to step away from work. She set up a GoFundMe to help with medical bills and ensuring she's not evicted from her home. But to her attackers, she has a clear message.
Find something better to do with your time.
Renton police say the incident was captured by witnesses and anticipate making more arrests in the next few days, as they're currently looking for 2 teens they say actively participated in this brutal attack.
It is something we hear about, but most of us rarely see: violence in the transgender community. Now a woman is speaking out after she was assaulted by a moving company employee. Good evening to you, and thank you for being with us. I'm Carrie Sharp. Now, we're going to show you the moment Tyler Flanagan says she was harassed and then attacked. There it is, right there. This incident has sparked outrage and is widely being shared on social media. Aaron Cantrell sat down with her to hear about what happened.
So the fact that my home now feels unsafe is...
Tyler Flanagan is still shaken up after what happened at this storage facility.
We're receiving a lot of death threats. I'm concerned for myself, my friends, my family.
Flanagan was with a friend at Extra Space Storage off Charlotte Pike when she says they encountered multiple men from Black Tie Moving. While inside, she thought one of the men she encountered was an employee with Extra Space Storage, but they weren't.
So I did approach him and asked him if he could help us move some items in our facility, and that's whenever he hurled a slur at us and said no.
She says the incident was reported to an employee at the storage facility and asked for an escort to her car, but says that request was denied. As she and her friend was walking outside, she says more homophobic slurs were hurled at them and they were misgendered.
We were telling them, we're just getting in the car, we're trying to leave. We don't want any, bad situation right now. Like, you guys are at work, we're at our facility. Like, it doesn't need to be anything that it doesn't need to be.
Video shows Flanagan going back inside. A man is seen striking her in the face. She says her hand took most of the impact, and it's now badly bruised.
Metro Police say that detectives are conducting interviews to make sure they have all the facts about this assault.
Did something take place in the parking lot, or?
There was something that took place in the parking lot, but it's being kind of spun in a direction that's not how it went. As I was getting into the car, my back was turned to him. I had tossed something out the car, and it landed completely far away from him.
She insists she never would have escalated the situation herself.
We're just human beings, and no matter how you spin it, I did not deserve to be attacked.
In Nashville, Aaron Cantrell, News Channel 5.
The owner of Black Tie Moving released a statement confirming the employee has been fired, saying in part, "We recognize the lasting harm acts like this can inflict, and we are truly sorry."
Justine Randall is on the run from the law again in what's become a real-life catch me if you can caper. The 18-year-old is accused in a series of subway joyriding crimes in which she's allegedly behind the conductor's controls, hurtling down the tracks.
She obviously have a disregard for our justice system.
A Brooklyn judge Tuesday issuing a bench warrant for Randall's arrest after skipping out on her latest arraignment. The Bronx woman has been charged with swiping MTA train keys, hijacking trains that are out of service in Brooklyn and Queens, and beating up a 54-year-old transit worker.
The MTA, they're not going to do anything or take any type of action until someone gets killed, and by that time, it's too late. I seen one kid say, "Hey, you're going to kill somebody," and the other kid that was operating the train said, "Oh, well."
Police say Randall's hijinks date back to at least March and as recent as last month. In one instance, a veteran MTA worker tried stopping her and explains he was violently assaulted and pepper sprayed on board a Brooklyn train.
They had pepper sprayed me and assaulted me, punching me, choking me.
The Transit Workers Union says this has been a constant issue the MTA has yet to prevent. Vice President of Transit Operations Tremel Thompson said he sees trains stolen almost every week, all of which are out of service.
I don't think there's any type of deterrence.
The criminality won't stop at this. It's going to continue until it escalates to something worse, because this person doesn't have any regard for life or humanity.
And it's happened again, another subway taken for a joyride. What can be done to make the train crew cabs more secure? Here's Eyewitness News reporter Stefan Kim.
Maybe she really didn't want to pay that fare. Or maybe she was tired of waiting. Whatever the reason, cops say a woman took an N train for a spin this morning in Astoria. She took it one stop, from the Broadway station to the 36th Avenue station, then took off.
The MTA keeps raising the fare, and we would expect better security on the trains.
Maybe she was just looking for some fun. It's 4 a.m. I mean, I think it's one of those things where just because she can, she did.
If the train is going to be 20 minutes, I'll get on the train with her.
The MTA only saying tonight there was no impact on this morning's service. Police say it happened at 4:30 a.m. There was no one on the train. Cops are still searching for that woman. This is not the first time a train has been taken for a joyride. According to the Transport Workers Union, cabs are supposed to be locked, but there's a master key that works on every train in the system. Those keys are usually stolen or purchased on the black market.
I feel like it's been kind of a tradition at this point to people to ride on top of the trains.
Yeah. In March, 2 juveniles punched a conductor in her face at the Park Slope station and stole the keys to the cab door. Police say they already had a set of keys, though. In January, 15 and 17-year-old boys were arrested after driving an R train more than 30 miles an hour under the streets of Sunset Park. And in September, 2 other teens were arrested for doing something similar in Queens. The MTA says it has been putting locks on those doors and working on new technology to restrict access to conductor cabs. This was the MTA CEO back in April.
It's really time for biometrics. Unfortunately, these old trains, we need to have modern security systems on them. It's one of the things we're going to spend a lot of money on in the next capital program.
The MTA could not say when this technology would be in place.
New details on a story that you'll only see on Pix 11 News tonight. Police have arrested an alleged serial subway thief after she skipped a court hearing. 18-year-old Justine Randall is accused of taking control of subway trains and going for multiple joyrides, most recently an N train in Astoria last month. She also allegedly assaulted a 54-year-old transit worker. Randall was supposed to appear in court yesterday but did not show up. She was in court today in Brooklyn where she pleaded not guilty. The DA's office is holding her on $30,000 cash bail and is seeking a psychiatric evaluation.
A motorist is speaking out after a man is caught on video slashing her tires at a Studio City gas station. That woman says she has filed a police report after that frightening confrontation.
KTLA 5's Corrine Winter live now in Studio City with the details. Corrine?
Well, we spoke with Gigi Gandy about that disturbing incident that happened at May 1st at this Arco gas station behind me. And take a look. She recorded that confrontation on her cell phone.
Look at him.
You can hear a man who was in another car yelling, "You're lucky I don't stab you," after he uses what appears to be a knife and begins repeatedly stabbing Gandy's car tire. You can also hear the air coming out of it. Gandy says that she just stopped to get gas and noticed another driver near her visibly agitated. That's when Gandy says that man pulled in front of her car and began speaking to another man at the gas station. Both of them, she said, kept looking at her and laughing. Things then got heated when one of the individuals made a U-turn in the parking lot and then flipped her off. Gandy said at that point she responded, giving the same energy by flipping him off, and that's when things escalated.
Traumatized. I was shaken and I didn't know what to do. I froze.
Why do you think you were targeted like this?
It could have been possibly because I'm transgender. I don't know. I don't think you could tell just based off looks, but I do think it was definitely something that triggered it as well. But who knows what happened in his personal life before this took place. So there could have been some built up anger. So, you know, you never know.
And the LAPD is now investigating. Now, we tried to get that cell phone, that security video rather, from the Arco gas station behind me, just to get a better look at what may have happened on May 1st after that incident, but they kicked us off the property. In the meantime, Gandy, you heard, she said she's traumatized. Her tire was, of course, damaged, but she says that she's fortunate that she did not get hurt. Contact the LAPD if you recognize the man in that cell phone video. That's the very latest here in Studio City. Corrine Winter, KTLA 5 News.